Have you ever done a blind hem by hand? Well, that can take a lot of time. And most sewing machines have a blind hem stitch. We're working through all the free video tutorials for the Singer Elite ME457. But if you have a Singer with a dial type feature where you pick the stitch and you set the width and length, I want you to follow this video to learn how to properly set up your machine for the perfect blind hem. Now, this particular model did come with a blind hem foot, and most Singer sewing machines actually do. It is adjustable, so once I show you which stitch to use, how to get it set up, then I'm going to switch feet, put this on, and then also show you how to correctly fold the fabric. And before you know it, you can actually do this so easily by machine in 1/10 of the time it would take you to do it by hand. All right, so first off, the stitch we are looking for is the 1, 2, 3, 4th setting over, and it is in the black area. So you are going to be setting up the length. I'm going to do a few stitch outs so we can look, and you are going to adjust the width. I'm going to just start around 4, 3.5 or so, and just see how close my stitches are and then how big the bite is. So I want it a little longer. And as soon as I'm done here, I'll show you what I'm looking for. So this is how the stitch is going to sew. It's going to do a couple straight stitches, and then it jumps over and takes a bite. All right, so you want the bite to not be too close together, otherwise you're going to have lots of stitches showing. It's not a bad thing, it's just usually you want it a little bit more spread out. So depending on how thick your fabric is or how fine it is, you can find a happy medium in that part of it. Now, what we're looking for is that when we fold our fabric, and this is probably the hardest one, but it will show you in your manual how to fold your fabric and other uses of all these different stitches. Do keep in mind your manual is online. You can print it if you want. There is a link below in the description for the manual for this machine. And if you visit Singer's website, if you've got another machine and you don't have a manual, definitely find the link. It's super easy to just look at, or again, just print off the few pages that you need. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to press in your new hem. So this would be the final one that you're going to have when you're done. So press it in really, really well. Next, remember on the front side, a blind hem means that you're going to have just a little tiny tick mark of thread that's holding the hem up. And that's the little bite you saw on the stitch. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to fold back our fabric. So the little bite we're going to take is into this little fold, and that's what's going to show when we're done. Okay, still one more step, because we need to adjust where the foot is going to guide to take the smallest bite into this fold. And so to change feet, touch the little button in the back of the foot. That's going to release the foot, hold the new blind hem foot in place, and lower it down until it clicks on. Now again, this is adjustable, so who knows where it actually needs to be. Just randomly put the foot down so the straight stitches will start on this little single edge. And what you need to do is actually hand turn a couple stitches until you see the needle swing to the left. There's the swing. So we're going to stop and hover the needle right above the fold. At this point, you're probably going to need to lift up your foot and slide the fabric to the needle. Don't worry about the guide just yet. We're going to adjust that in a second. And when you finally sink your needle down, you want it to bite into the fabric fold, just a little bit. Okay, I feel like that is going to be where it needs to bite, the smallest amount. Now here is what you do, is you take this little screw and you move the guide to hug up nicely to the fold. And when you do that, that gives you a visual place to follow. So as you continue to stitch, and I'm going to kind of just keep my fabric kind of snug up against the guide so it stays nice and close. And now let's take a look at the finished results. So the goal is just to have a little bit of a bite that when you do flip it to the other side, See the little dots? Now, of course, I'm using pink thread, so you can see it. But can you see that if I had used matching thread, it would just be that blind hem, that little distance when we lengthened it out, spread these bites out a little bit more, which looks like it'd be just right for this type of fabric. So here's the thing. If you have really big bites and lots of thread showing, and they're equal in length, you did it correctly. You just might want to not take so big of a bite. But honestly, if your thread matches, you probably won't even see it. It'll probably be just fine. But if you find that nice little smaller bite, it really looks good. I will have to tell you, blind hems do take a little bit, you're going to need to practice before you get it just right. I hope you'll check out all of our video tutorials on our Singer mechanical machines. You can find all the links in the description below or at the end of this video.